great to be with you folks here today. And just take a breath and just think for a minute. Like, this is just a minute where what we get to see is we get to see all the paths of life. You may be seated, folks. Where we get to see all the paths of life like come together in this moment, in this incredibly beautiful moment. And we're going to start today's service, start that moment with a reading.
Justin and Brighton, these are the hands of your best friend, young and strong and full of love for you, that are holding yours on your wedding day, as you promise to love each other today, tomorrow, and forever. These are the hands that will work alongside yours as together you build your future. These are the hands that will passionately love you and cherish you through the years, and with the slightest touch, will comfort you like no other. These are the hands that will hold you when you fear and grief fill your mind. These are the hands that will countless times wipe tears from your eyes, tears of sorrow and tears of joy. These are the hands that will tenderly hold your children. These are the hands that will help you hold your family as one. And lastly, these are the hands that even when wrinkled and aged, will still be reaching for yours, still giving you the same unspoken tenderness with just a touch.
Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful. It's not arrogant or rude. Love does not insist on its own way. It's neither irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrong, but rejoices in the right. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. In the final reading, when a couple is in love, his life lies within hers, and her life lies within his. Each lives as an individual, yet they also live for one another. Each strives for independent goals, but they also work together to achieve their dreams. They will give to one another what they need to survive and help fulfill each other's wants. They will turn one another's disappointments into satisfaction. They will turn work as a mirror, reflecting to each other their strengths and their weaknesses. They will learn to lean on each other, but not so much to be a burden on the other. They will learn to reach to each other, but not so much as to suffocate each other. They will learn when it is time to speak, when it is time to listen. They will be there to comfort each other in times of sorrow. They will be there to celebrate in times of happiness. They will be one another's guiding each other light to the happiness that life holds. They will be one another's companion, facing together the challenges that life may present. When a man and woman are in love, his life lies within hers, and her life lies within his. Together, they will love one another for the rest of their lives and forever. And my words to you folks deal with joy. And it was kind of fun even driving in here. There's somebody running for local office whose last name is Joy. So I was driving in, seeing all these signs about joy. And that's what I want to talk about. Because you get to choose here today, what's the banner you're going to have your marriage fly under? Some couples choose all kinds of things that don't work terribly well. But joy is one of the best. And I want to offer it this way. You know, that idea where Christ says it's not just joy offered, but it's fullness of joy. And that fullness of joy is so good. And ready for this? It's the joy that actually frees you. It's the joy that actually frees you. So what is it that this joy is? Well, I think of the difference between happiness and joy. Happiness is when we graduate. Joy is when we watch someone else graduate. It's that idea there's what we do and then there's what we offer to other people, and that's true joy. And how do we have that? How do we build that into our marriage? 3 ways: gratitude, forgiveness, and resilience. The first, just looking at the idea of gratitude. Just think about the paths that brought you two here today. Remembering back to that first date, way back when, and thinking about all those paths that literally got you, like, look at your feet right now, literally got you like right here. I mean, be grateful for that path. And I loved what you two said about what your gifts are. Brighton, caring, loving, approachable, protective, honest, all good in the boat behaviors. And Justin, for you, outgoing, a communicator, someone who can take initiative, disciplined, self-motivated. Another beautiful, beautiful list of gifts. And why does gratitude matter so much? Gratitude matters so much because that is literally how we will see the world. I mean, you can look at it one of two ways. Either everything's a problem or nothing's a problem, act accordingly. And that idea that gratitude just reminds us again and again just how deeply good life is. And that attitude, the compassion, gratitude begins with our eyes, begins with how we see. A story I want to tell you folks, and it's actually a happy story. It's a couple that was just filled with gratitude, and they'd lived a long life together. It came to the end of their journey, end of her journey, and she knew she had a couple months to go. Again, kids were all grown, grandkids, they had a wonderful life. And what they decided to do over the last month or so they had together was they knew all the holidays she was going to miss in the upcoming year, so they took every day and they celebrated a holiday. I was over there for the 4th of July in December. You know, like that's somebody who gets gratitude. They understand it deeply. And it took a whole marriage to create that, but that's just how they see the world. And no doubt how they will see forever. The second one is forgiveness. And this is a line, pardon me, that I use every single wedding I do because it's so important. Forgiveness comes down to this. You can choose to be right or married. Choose to be married. Just that simple. That idea that it's not about being right. It's about finding this softness. I love the words of Father Gregory Boyle. And he said our life, and it's like where marriage starts. He said, we go from this where we may have enemies to learning to love enemies and then making the hardest choice, which is actually where we get to the point where we decide we're not going to have enemies, period. We're just not going to have that in our lives. Because we've come to understand that people are all fighting a hard battle in their lives. That's just how it goes. And then we get, with forgiveness, to fully accept who our partner is. I don't know whether this is good news or bad news, but the things you two don't do well, you will continue not to do well. That's just how marriage works. And that's why forgiveness is so important. There is a time where we learn to forgive our partner for a thing, like not doing dishes. We learn to forgive for that. And then what we eventually get to do is we get to a point, and this is where it's so beautiful, forgiving. We eventually get to a point where we just simply get to say that I forgive the person. I just forgive the person, not even the event. I just forgive them for just being who they are, because the person who's forgetting the dishes now, 50 years from now, will be continuing to forget the dishes. That is the way life is going to go. And then you may even get to this part, where even the idea of forgiveness kind of goes. Like I realized with myself that when I'm forgiving my wife, I've decided that I'm the king, she's the peasant, and I'm here to pardon her. That is not a good model for marriage. It's just simply understanding, look, we're two imperfect people. We're two Joe and Jane Bag of Donuts doing the best we can in life, muddling our way through. Imperfect, isn't it good? Hallelujah. That's life right there. Understanding to really love and bless the mess. And then the last part, resilience. Hold resilience. Just want you for a minute, I just need to take 5 seconds and just listen to the beauty of this day. Allow it just to sink into your heart. You know, it's a beautiful part, like with the sun, as the sun sets, you're going to see the light just falling you all around today. And that's what we can just see. We can remember that there is always a bigger picture, that God's got it. The Bible starts with that. Life is good, not just good, very good. Purposefully not using the word perfect, which I love. That part there, folks, is important because you'll have little things. In other words, I'm going out on a limb here saying maybe one of these days you have a little son. Maybe one of these days you come home and he has duct taped a basketball hoop to the newly painted door and you're wondering who does it. The favorite brother doesn't fess up, but there you go. You know, and can you have resilience in that moment? Can you just remember it's a bigger picture? Because I guarantee one of these days you're going to be sitting at that chair and you're going to be laughing at that moment that drove you so crazy all those years ago. And there'll be big things too. But even those can become so good. Something I like to remind couples is folks, probably the worst vacation you ever have will turn into the best. The time where the RV broke down in Ohio really is going to be a great vacation. That's how life goes. And it's always remembering, keep on inviting each other to do it better. That constant invitation, that constant movement. I close with this. Allow God to speak to you the way God does, which is through horizons. God speaks to us through horizons. And we got a beautiful horizon here today. And just allow that to speak in your heart and allow that horizon to keep you moving, because I know this. Some days are going to be awfully long, but the years are going to be awfully short. And it goes oh so quickly. So live deeply into that moment and learn to really give. And the final story I want to tell you is a story I love to close weddings with, the best love story I know. It's a story about a couple who really got it, how to put together gratitude and forgiveness and resilience and then pull that all together into service. It's the story of Brody. Now, our congregation does a lot of work at Ronald McDonald House Charities. We go down, we cook, and then you get to eat with the families. And we did the cooking, went down, sat down with this family, and it was an older couple with a very young, profoundly handicapped little boy. And I thought for sure that this little guy was their kid. So I talking to the family, talking to the couple. It turns out they had actually adopted Brody. They live in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which is the middle of nowhere, and then you go further. And they drive the whole way from there down to Philadelphia for him to have surgeries. And this is where the story got really good. I asked them, what is it that they do for fun? And they said, we ride Harleys. They love riding Harleys. And I asked them, well, when was the last time you guys rode a Harley? And Brighton, she got the most amazing smile I've ever seen someone have. And she points at the big fancy wheelchair. And she went, Chuck, that's our Harley now. They get it. They get that this marriage is more than their relationship. They get, as we talked about, I am first, I am second, moves into we are third. And so the last question is, what are you going to do with this one wild, crazy marriage? Live it well. You folks are so lucky to have each other. You're so lucky that you get to walk through life with your best friend. How good does that get? God will be with you, blessing your ways. Keep choosing. Amen. Your vows. You've now come before the Lord that you may express your mutual consent to become husband and wife in a holy marriage covenant, the same to be duly witnessed and confirmed. Do you therefore, in the presence of the Lord, pledge your love and promise faithfulness each to the other, that from being two you may become distinct in one in affection and in thought and in all things of love? Please answer together, I do.
I do.
And will you now be united together in marriage as husband and wife according to the laws of divine order? Please answer together, I will.
I will.
He's sure.
You
Just
jumped
want
the
to make
gun.
sure.
Brighton, will you join with Justin as your husband? Will you love, honor, and comfort him and cherish him alone, that you may live together in the holy state of marriage according to the ordinance of God?
I do.
Justin, will you join with Brighton as your wife? Will you love, honor, and comfort her and cherish her alone, that you may live together in the holy state of marriage according to the ordinance of God?
I do.
The rings? There you go, Les. I take you back to our first conversation. And the first conversation talking about this moment and these rings. These rings, first off, sideways figure 8, the symbol of infinity. And the second one, remember the big question, which one do you pick up? And you pick up not your ring, you pick up your partner's. Because this isn't about claiming the love, the marriage that fits you. This is about offering the marriage, the love that fits them. Because you proposed, you put her ring on first, my friend.
This one.
No, honey, this one.
Oh, it's on the other hand. I got it. We didn't practice that yesterday.
Didn't practice it. No, we didn't.
Justin, who would have thought that 3 years ago today, when I told you that you were stuck with me, that we would end up right here, officially stuck together? We didn't meet in a noteworthy way, and we definitely had a rough start, but I don't think that we would be in this moment if anything was even announced different. You went from being the hot Verizon guy to maybe a friend, boyfriend, fiance, and now my husband. Over the last 3 years, you have become more than just my significant other. You've become my best friend that I can be goofy with, the love of my life, my support system, my voice of reason when I need it. The list goes on. You've taken on so many roles, and I love seeing more of you, good and bad, every day. Every relationship has their cycles of ups and downs, and you have stuck by my side through the best and through the worst. You and I together in this moment was worth every single thing that we faced. You accept me for all that I am, and you inspire me to be a better person every day. You inspire me with your drive and your passion to accomplish what you want, and I've never seen you give up. I love you for all that you are. I take you as you are now, tomorrow, and for eternity to be my husband. Even when the day comes that we're old and gray, I promise to see you with the same eyes and the same heart that I see you with at this exact moment. I vow to honor you and respect you. I vow to support you and encourage you. I promise to walk beside you through whatever life brings. I vow to laugh with you in times of joy and comfort you in times of sorrow. I promise to love you unconditionally and wholeheartedly for the rest of my life, even when you shave your beard the same day I clean the bathroom sink. I vow to always be patient with you, and I promise to fall more in love with you every day. I am so thankful for our past, our present, and I look forward to our future. Before you asked me to be your wife, my heart was already forever yours. You are my best friend, and I am the luckiest person on earth, and I am so thankful to call you mine.
Brighton, you are my best friend, my one true love. I can't believe how lucky I am to be the guy standing here up today to marry you. I remember the day I fell in love with you like it was yesterday. It was a fall night in October 2017. We went to Pearl Street Pub.
That was in mine too.
Yeah. It was a typical busy night there, hundreds of people crowding the bar and the dance floor. This night was different. I couldn't take my eyes off you. You were in a black crop top, olive green jeans. But it was your smile that night that seemed to slow the time down, making it feel like we were the only ones there. For the first time ever, I was truly happy, and I had everything I could ever ask for standing right in front of me. It was on that day I realized you were truly something special. From that point on, my time spent with you has truly been the best years of my life. You bring out the best in me, and I wouldn't be where I am today without you. You push me to be the best version of myself each and every day. Everything about you is beautiful, the way you love and care for me and everyone around you. Everything you do is selfless. You're so compassionate and loving, I wouldn't change a thing about you if I could. You have such a beautiful heart and always have been there for me, supporting me whether you agree with it or not. You're going to be an amazing mother to our children one day, spoiling them with the same love you provide me each and every day. I couldn't imagine spending the rest of my life with anyone but you. I love you. I vow to make my life forever yours. I can't promise to solve all your problems, but I can promise you won't be facing them alone. Let's continue to be awesome together, even if the world isn't so awesome. I promise to love you through the thick and thin. I vow to honor and cherish you as my wife. I promise to be your best friend and create an unending laughter and happiness together. I vow to respect you, your needs, and your desires. I promise to bring out the best in you because you bring out the best in me. I do vow not to get too mad when you bring home puppies without permission. You're truly my best friend, and I will forever be grateful that you enter my life. I love you.
Hold off your hands. That was beautiful. And I just, reading through it, I loved that looking at both of you talked about being a best friend. Celtic, Anam Cara, soul friendship. And I want to close talking about these hands here. Just imagine you choose to make this marriage the triumph of your life. And just imagine, again, 50 years from today, you sneak right back down into this spot. And look at these hands, young man. These hands, incredibly beautiful right now. 50 years from today, they're going to look a little different. But here's the miracle. Here's the miracle, John. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Here's the miracle. These hands will look even more beautiful 50 years from today. Because these are the hands of your best friend who you've walked through life with, as that quote said. And these hands, these guy hands, they're going to look a little different. They probably will have taught a few kids to play catch, probably would have done a lot of things, and probably have knuckles the size of softballs. It will look a little different 50 years from today. But the amazing part is, Brighton, is that these hands will be even more handsome. And these rings that you folks have that you've exchanged, these rings 50 years from today are going to be dented. Probably one of these little tiny stones will have been lost by then. But here's the miracle. They're going to be even shinier on the inside. Take off the ring at 50 years and look, it'll be even more shiny than it is today. That's what marriage is all about. It's simply put, listen please, is two angels walking each other home. It's two angels walking each other home. From all of us, we wish you all the very best. You two are special. May your walk of life be blessed, and may you continue to bless each other. In the name of the Lord God, Savior Jesus Christ, I now pronounce you husband and wife. What God has joined together with such great care on such an amazingly beautiful day, let no one put asunder. Amen. You may now kiss your wife.